What happens when you put a Marine, an airman, and a mystery MRE in the same room?
Can jet engines prepare you for parenting or just make you better at tuning out the noise?
Is it still a successful mission if the tent blows away and someone forgets the matches?
This episode is brought to you by First Form, Two Clever Fellas, and Backbone Coffee. Watch or listen now.
I challenge you as a believer, let that power get out.
Blind people received their sight. People have been carried in. We're healed. Nobody touched them. Nobody laid a hand on them. We just praised the Lord and spoke the word of faith, and God began to heal the people.
Here's a fish.
Yeah, let's go!
Oh my gosh, he's a pig.
You landed inside.
He kept me from. God, look how massive this is.
The Casting Faith Podcast.
Push on.
Welcome back to the Casting Faith Podcast. We have week 2 with our favorite Marine and airman.
Veteran.
That's okay. I'm a learning hunterman too. I've biffed a few words here and there, so that's gonna happen.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
It's just the caffeine.
You know what
coursing
wasn't
through my
funny?
veins.
When Charlie sang the national anthem.
Yeah, I could just feel your cringe through that
You talked about the stolen. You talked about the stolen valor and the patriotism and all that stuff. You guys ruined the national anthem of this country.
Hey,
So many people skipped through that.
you know what? I haven't got a request for praise team since that. So
It wasn't your singing. It was the voice changes.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yes.
are you guys honoring the country? Or are you making
this-
fun of that?
Yeah, I was worried about you guys on that one.
Hey,
When did
sorry.
this show go woke?
hey, we love our country. We love our country. We love America is the best.
You know, we tried and we, we gave it our best shot.
Yeah, it was a mixed bag.
We were trying to be funny, but it wasn't funny and it just wasn't the right time.
I will say,
I apologize. I was pressing the buttons.
I will say that, we're going to say some things on this show, that may not always come out the way we truly intended to come out, I'm going to say things. It might be a mistake here and there. Please don't judge me on that. We're just trying to share the gospel in a way that is palatable to everybody and kind of just be a bridge. And you know what's missing, I think, in church culture sometimes is the levity.
Just being real.
Just being real.
Sean, how old are
big
you?
word. 37.
You're 37. Troy, you're 2 years younger than me, or 3 years. So I've gotten into it with my wife, and the fact I was like, as I'm getting older, I think I'm getting just a little bit more less of a filter on what I say. And before I left to come here with you guys, Ash told me yesterday, she goes, please be careful what you say. I was like, I'm going to tell it how it is.
I've had several minister friends that are scheduled to come on or have already come on where their wives have said the same thing. And I'm like,
It's funny.
am I saying things that aren't supposed to be said?
It's not you. It's my wife knows what I will say.
Well, Ashley was standing right in front of us Sunday when Charlie came up and told me about this. And she turns and looks, she's like, oh no. We have good conversations.
Didn't she say the world's not ready for Craig and Troy on a podcast?
Well, I caught some flack from some friend. I won't name names, but our episode with David Himes that kind of went off the rails of like the moon landing, and we've got out there with some topics.
You
that
calling
just aren't,
NASA astronauts a moon person?
I just said her face looked like the McDonald's commercial with the moon face. Like she was up in space too long. And
I didn't get a chance to listen to that one yet.
That one was good.
She looked like. It's not like me bashing her. I'm just saying it's an observation.
Listen, I love a good flat Earth conversation. Did we go to the moon conversation?
That's what she looked like. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
Tilt that this way.
Gravity had taken its toll. That's what I'm saying. That's what she looked like. But I'm sure she's
I'm probably going to catch a lot of flack for this one, but I did see something funny today, and they said the reason why NASA never sent women to the moon. And it had a woman on the moon dressed up as Ashley, and she said, Houston, we have a problem. And it said, This is Houston. What is the problem? Nothing. Do you have a problem? I'm fine. Yeah, well.
But look at the before and after. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
No disrespect, Miss Williams. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It just was an observation. I hate that you were stuck up there for so long. I'm so glad that you're back on Earth.
That's probably what you caught flack for.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's just
Making fun of people.
and anytime like
This is the
Licensed
first and last
minister
show I'll
over
be
here.
on. After what I'm sorry, I laughed at that. And if you can't laugh at it, then you just said it. We need more levity. We need to be able to laugh at things. I'm not attacking anybody with what I
So
just
that's
said.
what Craig and I are for each other when we see those memes or those jokes that, I can't. Who can I show this to?
have you seen
correct.
have you seen the thing where it's like Instagram just switched their policy. All of your reels are now public. Everything you've ever shared is now public. And it's like the reel. Okay, go ahead. Light that candle. Go ahead. Let's see what happens. I'll lose everything, but then I'll have nothing to lose.
Hey, Troy, how many conversations have we had where I was like, dude, I saw this meme or I saw this video. I thought about sending it to you, but I didn't.
Yes.
But I did. In all seriousness, though, like we genuinely just want to portray what real people are like.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
And that's the goal of the show. And
Yeah.
every good thing that I've heard from non-church folks that we're reaching is that I'm so grateful that you guys are sharing your faith in a way that's not forced and sharing your faith in a way that is fun and shows that you can still live life. And and my heart is that this we've heard the term and it's scripture, through the foolishness of preaching. Well, through the foolishness of this podcast, I hope somebody's life is made better,
Right.
And the goal is like, there's tons of like apostolic content podcasts, and it's Bible study based, it's preaching based, it's all great stuff, but there's not really anything consistent as far as just like something to listen to. If you're just wanting to just hang out.
I think a podcast like your guys' stuff too can break stereotypes.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. Like,
Because we're just people, and people don't. Sometimes they don't see that.
yes, I preach, but like I'm also Charlie. I'm also who I am. And
You also wake people up at 7:00
playing tightrope,
playing monotonous music.
Yeah, I could still play that today if you gave me a guitar. I don't even need
it's
to.
probably the
You can
same
do it
four
whenever you
chords.
want, just not at my house.
You're never allowed in my house with a guitar again. Joke's on you, buddy. Yeah. No, I'm not going to sing again. Anyways,
Never again on the show.
glad to have you guys back on the show. We're so happy to have you guys. And last week we talked about your testimony, Craig, and we got into to your what God allowed you to overcome. And we're going to talk more on Troy's testimony this week. But before we do, and it's kind of weird to say, let's catch up when we just caught up. But is there anything new going on in your lives that you want to share? Or just catching up, like we talked about last week, how me and Sean just did a tournament. I got right back into the swing of running a summer camp. And, after 2 weeks of church camp, serving at church camp, to come back and do summer camp with school agers, I'm tired, y'all.
Oh, I know you're tired.
I'm tired.
Yeah. My wife and I, we've had conversations like this over even the last couple of months. Just what's going on with all the time? It's like every time we turn around, we got this going on. We got camp, we got sports, we got practice, we got this, and I just kind of was like, we're going into another chapter of our life. Okay, it was great the baby years, then we got into the kid years, and now we're getting into that preteen and teenage years. I've got my oldest is about to turn 12. My youngest just turned 10. And now they're wanting to be a little bit more, they're seeing other kids that are on the 13, 14. They're like going out and doing stuff like, Dad, can I? No, you're 10, you're 12. But I can see that we're right on the cusp of that. And it's like, yeah, we're just going to have to run with this one and get rest when we can.
Yeah. I think too, man, I was talking to Brother Christian about this. We were talking about this, and I forget what comedian it is. Maybe one of you guys will remember. I think he's a Christian comedian. He's got this bit where he's like, when you're just getting out on your own and you're in your apartment and your friends want to hang out, you'll burn your whole apartment down. You'll just go. Where are we going? I'll burn my. What do you want to do when we're going?
Right.
And then like you get married and you're like 8:00. We're going where at 8? 8 o'clock? 8
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I'll go, but I'm driving separate. and then it goes fast forward. You got kids and you're going through. I'm offended you even asked me out.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
I'm not going nowhere.
Right.
So it's like, but I think it's like parenthood is the thing. I don't think you guys are all older than me. Probably the youngest one here.
Oh yeah,
But
I mean, single married life or single or married without kids. It was Friday night. If we don't got plans, that's enough to throw a problem. I mean, you might have to go to marriage counseling or depression. You may go into depression. Got kids, 8:00 on a Friday night. If I'm in my sweats and a t-shirt and I'm sitting down to watch a show before I go to bed, I won that week.
Yeah. I don't like to be up, and it's crazy because I've been up past like 2:00 for 2 weeks straight, and then up at 7, for 2 weeks straight, then to come home and now my sleep schedule's off and I'm up at like 1:00 in the morning staring at the ceiling. And I'm like, this is a mess. And it's going to take time for me to like get adjusted and get right back to it. But, I like to be in bed by like 9:00.
It's nice.
9:00.
At least shut down. Like, I don't have to be asleep, but laying in my bed
Yeah.
at 9:00, 9:30. I like that.
Plus, we're in that late June, early July phase where at 9:00 the sun's still out, and you're just like, "Oh, this is awesome."
Yeah.
But yeah. So we didn't talk about this story, but there's a story of it was the 4th of July. Now it's 2 weeks ago, so this is a little dated, but it's okay. In Tennessee. So it's funny because the episode that we did on the 4th, we talked about there was a show I think it was San Diego in 2012 where the whole fireworks show went off at one time, and it was just this big ball of explosion. And then literally the next, like 2 days after we recorded, I watched a reel of somebody driving into a Prism's firework like building, and the whole building blew up. Did you see that?
No,
Bro, somebody drove into it.
Oh, you told me about that.
Somebody
Yeah.
drove into it, and the whole store.
Yeah, it was Florida, wasn't it?
That was in Florida. Yeah.
Florida man.
Yeah.
Florida man drives into, that needs to be a segment. Florida man.
Florida man.
But Florida man drove right into a Prism's firework
Built
storefront
different in Florida.
and it
Right.
just went up in, flames of, that's not nice. Anyways, it just went up. And then another reel took place where they were out on the lake somewhere. I think it was in Tennessee. They were out on the lake, and you watched them on the lake, didn't you?
Yeah.
When you were out with your family.
Yeah.
On the 4th. So they were doing this. Lots of lakes. Portage Lakes does this. I'm sure every lake has somebody out on a boat lighting fireworks off their boat. Doing the show.
That's not wise, but a barge, like
Something, somebody's
right.
out doing that. And whether it's the city on a barge or some guy, well, I don't know if this was the barge or it was some guy, but it was the same thing. The first few are nice, mortars up in the air. It was great. And then all of a sudden something caught on the boat and it was just,
that's wild.
and it's like, man,
No, thank you.
So what's your guys' take on that? When we talk about growing old and parenthood and stuff like that. When I was a kid, I would be running around with Justin and Jared shooting each other with Roman candles.
Oh yeah,
bottle rockets.
It's kind of
Down
funny.
in that Ravenna tapping.
Now,
We're gonna get
you're
into
spitting
it.
on some things there. Well, it's kind of funny. Like Craig and I have been certain places together, and we'll kind of look at each other and kind of like we have this mindset. I don't know if it's military or what, but kind of like a risk assessment going on in our heads. And I'll kind of look at him, and I remember where were we going on vacation down to the Outer Banks. And I remember looking at him as like, if something happened, we're stuck here. He goes, yeah, I was already thinking that.
So it was when we went across that bridge and then we came across into the actual, I don't remember what it was called, but we're watching where all this sand had washed away.
Yeah.
And it was like, this road could give at any moment. You know that, right? And we're like, yeah.
It's crazy you guys have like the same mindset. Yeah. It's pretty neat.
So
That you guys found each other.
Our wives, we're just two sides of the same coin.
So we all were at a picnic recently. I won't say where. Was the risk assessment going off when we were all at that picnic together?
So I saw the first couple go off. And I went, oh, this is going to be interesting. And my wife's sitting next to me and she goes, should I get the boys? And I don't know what it was that night, but I was just like, it'll be fine. And then I saw that one go over your boy's head.
Right over my son's head.
I thought about it. I was like, you know what? Let's see if they can learn from this. And they didn't. And my wife takes off. I'm sitting there and saying, like, I'm just not running right now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like, babe, get the kids.
Is this the picnic that I declined to go to?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Different one. I was going to say, because that
No, you were
park
there.
is...
We had just had a meeting.
Oh, I was there?
Yeah, we had just had a meeting with Backbone and then went to this setting. But
Never mind.
I was talking to Hillary about this, and I don't know why my mind's on parenthood, but probably because you guys are some of the best parents that I've ever met. Like, I would have been happy to have you as a dad when I was younger.
Appreciate that.
You've made some great kids, is what I'm saying. But I was talking to Hillary. I was like, and Brother Christian, I was talking to him too. I was like, back in the day, nobody knew where we were during this picnic. Nobody knew.
You guys
Like,
are in the woods.
We were not. We were clear in the woods. We were catching frog. We were like halfway across to the sporting goods store across the street through the woods. Like, nobody knew where we were for hours. And I look back and I'm like, and then I got to thinking of like my personal upbringing. Nobody knew what I watched. Nobody knew what I watched. And if they did, they wouldn't let me watch it. But I just watched. And it was like there was this switch where I don't want to say they didn't care, because I know they care, because when I got in trouble, I got in trouble.
Yeah.
You know? So they cared. But I think it just changed. And so now, like, I worry that sometimes I'm the overbearing dad that doesn't let them have those experiences. Well, maybe they can learn from this. You know? You know what I'm saying?
But you get that kind of like as they get older.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, you know your kids. So you're going to let them experience some things. And I mean, you know how far they can go.
Like, I got a 7-year-old who still watches Disney Junior. Am I doing something wrong? You know what I mean? Like,
No. Well, I would just say watching Disney in general is doing something wrong, but that's just me. I'm anti-Disney. I'll say this. I always told Ash, my wife, I always told her, I said, don't let me become that helicopter parent. Don't let me do it. Let me pull me back. You got the reins. Just give me a jerk if you see me doing that. And I think as they've gotten older, I've become a little bit less in that. You're gonna learn. You're gonna do dumb things, and most of the time, you learn the best from doing dumb things.
Yeah.
I personally think it has to do with social media and the amount of exposure of the bad things that you can see that can go wrong in the world. That do it, because like I think back to Troy and I have talked about this. I'm talking woke up 8 o'clock, ate breakfast, and on our bikes and gone. I'm talking. I lived probably 2 miles from Akron U. I lived at least 8 miles from Chapel Hill. I lived at least 8 miles from Firestone Park Metro, where we used to go fishing all the time and everything. And I'm talking riding our bikes on sidewalks in busy streets
through
with
the
tackle.
Snow.
And I'm talking gone
10 miles through
no
the snow.
No. I'm not saying it that way. I'm saying no pager.
Nope.
No cell phone.
Nope.
Parent didn't tell my parents where we were going.
Yeah.
There was I almost think to myself,
It'd be really hard to be a parent back then.
Yeah. Right. But knowing what I know now, I think that is what causes me to, oh my goodness, they got kidnapped. Oh my goodness, this. Oh my goodness, this.
Yeah.
This is kind of deep thought real quick, but like Garden of Eden, the knowledge, the knowledge of good and evil,
right,
when that was like all innocence was gone.
Oh yeah.
And it's like when we jumped, when we skyrocketed technology and social media became a thing, it's like we took another bite of the fruit. And then like now everybody's aware of all the chaos that's actually out there. And it's caused all of the, how do we handle this? How do we handle this? What do we do?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's more or less. Like if it's the same, things have gotten, we always hear it's gotten worse. But it happened back then too.
I think it's just the access now that parents have. That's like when I turned 18, I remember driving down to Ohio State for the state wrestling tournament with my friends. My son is 18 now. I would never.
Yeah.
But also the access I have an app that tells me exactly how fast he's going. If he stops too hard, if he uses his phone. Life 360.
Okay.
Yeah. And so having that access, it changes things.
Yeah. But you would think like it would change things in a way where you're like, yeah, go for it. Go walk around, downtown Ravenna. Like, go do your thing. Whatever you want to do. Be gone all day because I know exactly where you're at. But it's the opposite effect. We have them all like locked in, which is not a good or bad thing. Whatever, do your own thing. Like I'm still trying to figure it out. But like like looking back, I'm like, we really got away with a lot.
I think you got to use wisdom and trust God, pray about everything. But cover them in prayer.
Yeah,
cover them in prayer because I look back and look at like you said, if people knew what I was watching when I was 8, 9, 10 years old. They either didn't care or didn't know. I mean, that was it. Yeah. But I also see a lot of my friends though that aren't living the life that I'm living now. And I take it as grace and I am fortunate that I'm in the place that God has me now. Yeah. Because it wasn't by any of my doing at all.
Mm-mm. Yeah. So funny thing, like, and it's just interesting how God, you mentioned it, how did they end up together? They think the same. They do all these things. It's so funny, Troy. I lived across from the Belfry in Ravenna. Mm-hmm. Like I lived on East Riddle Avenue, and I walked all the streets. And we were the last of the latchkey kids, and we were set off, And it was partly because I was raised by my grandparents, and it was like they raised my mom, who was the latchkey generation. You know what I mean? So it's like. It's one of those things where I got in under the radar, you know what I mean? And so me and my sisters would be gone and we would go to the swimming pool. Our cousin had a key cause he lived in the, Woodgate apartment complex. And so we got to hijack that card to the swimming pool. Yeah. And we would all walk there. We would go to Video Update and Sports Express and the barbershop and the card shop. We would be gone. We go all day on our bikes. Yeah. And, I had a Razor scooter and I had a Huffy mountain bike, and that's what I got around on, went down Tappan Hill on that scooter and about took my kneecap.
That's a brave man right there.
About took my kneecap off, but we were gone. But the cool thing is like, I haven't known you my whole life. Yeah. But my sister played soccer with your sister.
My younger sister.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I've met you before as a child. I've watched you play football in the stadium.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
I watched you play. We went to every game in that new stadium.
Oh yeah.
It was like our thing that we went to. We would go to the game, get the hot chocolate and the red vines and all the things, and we would sit and we would watch football. And so I watched you play. My sister went, played with your sister, and your wife, Shantea, her half brother was my best friend in kindergarten.
Yeah, her stepbrother.
Her stepbrother. Yeah. And so small world, right? Like, and then fast forward years, and now we're good friends. Yeah, and like God has a way of crossing paths sometimes, which is really cool. Yeah, and so it's interesting.
We have some exciting news. We have officially partnered with
Backbone Coffee.
That's right. Casting Faith, Backbone Coffee, partnering together to bring good coffee to your morning routine.
Whether you're out on the water or
in everyday life
or working the graveyard shift,
Backbone Coffee is for you.
It is. Try it out. It's awesome. Check the link in the description.
And it's like one of those things where I think about a lot. It's like, is this a thing where like, was it God ordained, or is the world really just this small? Like we grew up in this area, we were bound to cross paths.
It is small.
Here we go.
You're connected to everybody in the world through 7 people maximum.
Where did we hear that? We talked about that before.
I don't remember, but you're connected to pastor's connected to Art Wilson. Art Wilson's connected to the president. The president's connected to pretty much everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody in the world's connected through a maximum of 7 people.
Is it 7 degrees of separation? That's what it is.
Oh yeah.
And I think Kevin Bacon is 7 degrees of separation from like every actor, actress in Hollywood ever. 7 degrees. And it's a game that was played back in the day about Kevin Bacon because of the amount of different people that he's acted with.
I had a buddy who interviewed him.
Really?
On YouTube. Yeah, you knew him, Trevor. Remember Trevor Calderon?
I would like some bacon.
I remember the name. I can't put a face to it.
He also lived with your former roommate.
Oh, yes, I do remember Trevor now.
Yeah, so he did an interview. It's probably still on YouTube. But it's weird how we're all connected, but it's also cool. Like
There's also an apostolic app about that.
everyone's connected. Did you have an EC? That's the real question.
Did I have the what?
Did you have everyone's connected? The first apostolic social media?
I don't think so.
It was tough.
Tough as in good.
Like, worse than MySpace?
It was want to be.
It was like MySpace was there. Yeah.
Social media. Let me just say that. It
And
was
then everyone's like,
peak.
oh, you got to get everyone's connected.
Yeah.
So check this out. A couple years ago, we were at a Christmas party and they were doing that white elephant thing, giving away gifts. And somebody had some candy that was in a box or something like that. And they're like, you know, they open it up, they're like, oh, sweet. And I took the candy and I flip it over and it said, go and put this code on your MySpace. And I went, I'm not eating this. I was like, how old is this candy?
Wow.
It's about as old as this MRE.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
But Brother Troy, it's crazy to me, like, because I'm from Ravenna. That's where I grew up. And it's like, I never made the connection with Sister Lonica. I never made the connection, you know, I couldn't probably point you out on the field from the pictures, you know, but I watched you play all the time, and God had a way of kind of circling everything around and put us together in a group and in a place here at FAC Talmadge where, man, you know, I'm fortunate that I grew up in this church, and pastor was like a father to me, father in the gospel, but also like taught me, you know, like he treated me like he treated his own son. And so and all the things that come with that, you know. And so I'm grateful that I was able to kind of grow up through this church. But it's also really cool to have been here from my beginnings almost to like watching all these people kind of come together, and how God kind of pulled the right people where they needed to be, and watching these people thrive now. And so it's cool. But question about Ravenna. Before we get into your story.
Okay.
And I can't remember who I was talking to this about.
First, as a Ravenna person, I got to say this. Sicilianos, Sean.
Oh my goodness. Sicilianos.
Sicilianos, pizza. Hey, it's a Sicilia.
All right.
Still love you, man.
It's good though.
It is literally the best. There is no pizza better than Sicilianos.
Sicilianos.
Who's a sissy? Why are we saying that?
Sicilianos. Speaking of Sicilianos, Sicilianos. Speaking of it, okay, and this is you too, because you grew up in Akron, right? Potato wedges.
JoJo's.
Thank you.
From the gas station.
JoJo's.
Oh yeah.
Not potato wedges. That is an us thing.
A JoJo?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's not
100%.
like our West Virginia listeners.
I
was thinking, huh?
No,
Oh, yeah.
I'm from West Virginia. I never knew what a JoJo was.
Anywhere you go, they're like, hey, you got JoJo's? What? You know, they're like the big French fries. You mean potato wedges? No, I mean JoJo's.
Yeah. Get it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, never heard of that.
Pop.
Right?
It's pop. It's not soda.
Yeah. But that's that's a weird thing that we have. It's like not a common thing. But yeah, if you never had JoJo's, go to Sicilianos.
They're just potato wedges.
I mean,
but they're made different. They're better.
yeah.
But they're JoJo's.
I actually
potato
like the JoJo's from Circle K better than the ones from Sicilian.
Blasphemy.
I'm just saying. They're good.
I don't think I've
We'll pray
ever
for him
had
afterwards.
potato wedges from Circle K.
Well, the one by
I've
my
never
job,
eaten any hot food from Circle K.
Hey,
Thank God.
I worked at Circle K
the
for
one
2 years.
by my job is much different than the one that you worked at.
I worked
I
at
sent you
one 2
videos
years.
to you and John.
It was different.
They're
but,
good.
however, you know those gas station burritos? Are you familiar with them?
I mean,
Okay.
I've looked at them.
I've
That's
seen
about
them.
it.
That's all I know.
You think the MRE cookie will back you up for days?
No, I would never do that.
Listen, the burritos from the gas stations have a shelf life unrefrigerated for over 6 months.
That's crazy.
Unrefrigerated.
Just go to Taco Bell.
The coffee at Circle K, well, it's better now, but back then when it was just from a craft, it's better now because it's like it grinds it all up for you. Much good call, Circle K. Because when I worked at Circle K, when the beeping would start going off, all people would do that worked there would tip the craft. that coffee had been there for 3 or 4 days, brother. It wasn't backbone quality coffee. It had been there for 3 or 4 days, and the beeping would go off, and they would just. Now this wasn't me because I like my coffee the way I like my coffee, and I got that coffee for free, and so I would make it fresh. But they would just tip it, and that's it. And that's how gas stations do it, man. I've seen some nasty things at the Circle K.
Listen, if you really wanted to go down that rabbit hole, even restaurants. I worked at a restaurant in high school. And I washed dishes, and to see the stuff that went down, and this is a nice restaurant. Don't ever send food back. Don't ever be not polite to your server.
Yeah. Brother Christian just said he had no problem sending it back.
Oh, I remember on Sunday morning, and I was like,
don't send it back.
Who doesn't have a problem sending it back? I'd never send stuff back.
I worked at Outback Steakhouse. I can attest to that.
That's so terrible.
I'm telling you.
I don't send anything back.
What is it? Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. They say not to take the ice from like the fountain drinks and stuff because there's mold in the top, like the fixture.
Not only that, don't take lemon wedges or lemon slices in your water because of the bacteria that's on them.
Yeah. It's got like E. coli on it and stuff. So when you're getting a drink, don't get ice. That's crazy.
That's how I've only experienced that in Brazil. Brother Robinette said not to get any ice anywhere. Yeah. And what's the first thing Trayshawn had? Iced tea.
I didn't get
iced coffee. It was iced coffee.
He was all right though, huh?
I was like, dude, you got ice in that iced coffee, and he goes,
like, okay. He said, I'm walking under the anointing and the favor of the Lord.
Bold faith.
No weapon formed against me.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's crazy. But yeah, man, it's gross. It's stuff that goes on. Just be careful out there, Treat the people who serve you well
with respect.
That helps a lot. I like to think that helps.
I would agree with that.
But
I'm a firm believer of you got 20% when you sit down at the table. You could get up to 25, but it's only going to go down from here, and that's on you.
Yeah. So not potato wedges.
JoJo's. Yeah.
All right. So there's 2 pizza companies that are main competitors in Ravenna. We named one.
Guido's is not it.
What is your preference as a local?
So, if I'm order a pizza, it's usually Guido's.
Wow.
If I'm ordering wings, Siciliano's.
Yeah.
Stromboli, Siciliano's.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But pizza, Guido's. I mean, it's a Ravenna thing, and I found that most people that aren't from Ravenna, it's kind of like, the pizza's okay, but for us, it's
it's in every small town because I moved from Ravenna to Brimfield, where you're from. Mm-hmm. That's where I moved.
Where I live now. I was from
where you moved. I hate to tell people where you live. I shouldn't have said that.
Well, that's all public information.
He's a Marine though that can take care of business, so he'll be all right.
Don't worry about the dog. Worry about the owner.
Yeah, but I moved to Brimfield, and that was a culture shock because I grew up on East Riddle Avenue, and so going from Ravenna to Field High School, it was like a where am I kind of situation.
It was like more city than you're used to? Or?
No, it was full country.
More rural.
Oh.
And yeah, I'm from Texas, but I grew up in downtown Ravenna. So downtown Ravenna was not like that.
And the funny thing is, though, I was born and raised in Akron. I look at downtown Ravenna. You lived out in the country.
Nice. It was nice.
Everybody always said that. Yeah. All my cousins from Akron.
Yeah. And it was nice.
I see Ravenna as city, from where I'm from.
Yeah, I look at it as Ravenna as suburban.
That's crazy.
Not anymore. Not anymore. But I went from Ravenna to Field, and then I moved to, when I got married, we lived in Akron for a little while, and then I moved out to Portage Lakes area. And out where we live now, it's Giuseppe's or what's the other one? I'm blanking. There's 2 pizza joints, and it's the same thing. It's like you either go to Giuseppe's or you go to I can't even remember the other one, so that's it. That's Giuseppe's for us. But it's like a constant pizza war between each culture has their own thing, you know? Yeah. And so I was just curious, Siciliano's or Guido's?
I always end up ordering Domino's though, because it's cheaper.
It is cheaper.
There was a show. Remember that?
Cheaper.
As long as you're not doing Papa John's.
Go to New York, get my favorite slice.
The last time I went to Papa John's in Ravenna, we ordered, and it was an hour.
An hour?
It was 1 hour
for a Papa John's
pizza? Papa John's pizza.
No.
And then I went in to go pick it up, and they hadn't even started it yet. And I saw like the screen. It was like we were 8 orders down still. And I was like, how much longer will it be? And she's like, I'm by myself, so probably another hour.
Wow.
There's 2 hours for one pizza.
Cancel.
Wow.
Cancel.
So never again.
Was this cold?
It's consistent with that Papa John.
To tie into the pizza and the 7 degrees of separation. So we were in New York City, and I was like, we got to do New York City pizza. We're walking around. Yeah, my favorite New York joint, Suarez. So I was talking to my wife. She's like, what about this one? I was like, nah, not that one. What about this one? No, not that one. I was like, that's the one. And she's like, how do you know that's the one? I was like, look at the line that's coming out that door. That's how I know that's the one. We go in, and she's wearing an Ohio State Buckeyes pin, and it's just the O with the leaf. And we go up to the register, we place our order, and as we're paying for it, he goes, oh, Buckeyes fan. And she goes, yeah. And he goes, I'm from Ohio. And I'm like, oh, really? Where are you from? And he's like, Medina. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. We come to New York City and run into the dude from Medina. I was like, I work in Fairlawn. He was like, oh no, get out of here and all this stuff. So yeah, small world.
Galuches. Giuseppe's or Galuches. They came back to me. Sorry. I would have gotten hate for that. I like Giuseppe's better. But yeah, same thing. It's crazy how each town has their own thing. But it's also crazy that 7 degree separation thing where like you just ran into a dude from where you're from. And God will put people like, it's so cool because I've watched this come to pass in real life where I've ran into people in adulthood that I should have been a witness to as a youth. And God let it come full circle again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like he gives chance after chance to reach people. Yeah. And so that's an incredible thing. But Troy, we want to hear from you this episode. Just want to get into your story, your testimony. Okay. You know, we know from last episode you served. I did. And so we're going to kind of let you take the reins here and we'll interject where you want us to, but we want to hear your story. Yeah. And I've said it before. My wife and I look up to you guys a lot. As young parents. Appreciate that. We see your kids, and the Bible says you're known by your fruit, and your kids are part of that. Yeah. You have some of the greatest kids, man. Appreciate you may have raised my future best friend in Braxton.
I mean, my daughter calls you and your wife her second parents.
I love them so much. They're so great, and that's fruit of your labor and what you've done as a father. And so I just want to we want to hear from you. And it's always awkward when you're like giving people praise and stuff like that, but we want to hear from you and just hear your story. And how did you end up here? And how did God tie you back into this community that's helped you grow?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, man, I think that back in 2018, it was a big transition year for my wife and I. Ended up buying a house, but more spiritually, God was doing something in us as far as showing both of us that He had more for us. We didn't know what that looked like, where anything. And we had got together that New Year's on 2018 and talking, and we had realized that God had told us the same thing separately, and we hadn't have a conversation about that. But it was that He was going to take us somewhere to learn and to grow. And at that time, we had no plans of being here. But we started here at FAC probably 2 weeks after that. And it was mainly because my wife at that time was a police officer, and she was working first shift on Sunday mornings. So here we had evening service. So she started coming here first, and then I started coming here and kind of grew from there. But I didn't know at the time that certain things that I've been praying for and looking for and needed in my life was here. You know, being a guy, like you were talking about earlier, saying me play football. I played football, I wrestled, and left high school and went and played a little bit of college football. Then I left college and joined the Air Force right after that. And that whole time, each one of those things, you had a brotherhood, you had a camaraderie with different guys, and you built trusts and you built brotherhoods with at each one of those transition periods. And I got out of the service in 2011 or 2009, and I went to the reserves, Air Force and reserve in Pittsburgh. And during that time, it's just kind of my wife and I getting back with family. The church we went to was a family church that we both grew up in. And there was guys there that I was close with, but it was more, cousins or, stuff like that.
What made you enlist in the Air Force?
Pretty much college was expensive.
Yeah.
And I've always been drawn to discipline and order. And when I went to college, I kind of lost sense of that and was doing things that it wasn't pleasing to God. Wasn't living that life that I was raised, the way my parents were, had raised me. And I was like, you know what, maybe need to go into the military. And I had talked to a few different branches. My mom was 100% against the Army and the Marines. And brother here and Brother Leonard, he was in the Navy, and I was set on going into the Navy. And he said, he's like, do you plan on marrying Shantae, or were you just dating at the time? And I was like, yes. He was like, you're not going into the Navy. So that just left, pretty much the Air Force for me. And it was a great choice. I joined the Air Force in 2005, went to basic training. And before I left for my first duty station, Shantae and I got married. And I was 20, she was 21. And took my new bride, and we moved to Germany for 3.5 years. Wow. So I'll tell anybody, it's the best thing that happened to us being away, not having mom, not having dad, not having Sicilianos, not having, none of that, none of the comfort foods or anything, but just we learned to rely on one another. So did a lot of growing in the time that I was in the Air Force. My marriage, I learned what marriage really looked like. I had a great church while I was there of men that really poured into me to teach me, because I didn't know what marriage looked like. I mean, my parents have been married. They celebrated 50 years this year. So, but again, we were by ourselves, so didn't have anything there. But these men poured into me, and that's when I first really looked into that scripture where it talks about loving your wife as Christ loved the church. Really, what did that mean for me? And that was like a big turning point in my marriage. Germany was a big thing for us. That's where I learned to be a husband. That's where, while I was in the Air Force, that's where we had our first child. That's where Troy was born. So there were so many things that happened that I know that if I wasn't in the Air Force, I probably wouldn't have been ready for it or got the things that I needed. So the Air Force was great for me.
So you mentioned your early college life was kind of off of what you were raised off of. It wasn't on par for what you were supposed to be doing. Did your time in the service, did your faith grow during that time, or was it just like a reset, or how did that?
It definitely grew. While I was there, one big thing is that at the time, I hadn't received the Holy Ghost yet. And I remember talking with someone about that, and they were like, oh, you don't need that. That's only for certain people. And this was like right before I was getting ready to deploy. It was something that was really pressing on my heart. I'm leaving my family. I'm leaving my Troy was only 9 months at that time. I was kind of struggling, and that was kind of the advice for me. But even that whole time that I deployed, when I say the peace of God was with me that entire time, and even being able to witness to somebody while I was in Afghanistan about baptism and different things that at that time I didn't have a great understanding of, but I knew enough. Yeah. But having that peace while I was there, and that whole time that I was in Afghanistan, I could feel his presence with me. So when I came home, that's when I had decided I was going to get out of active duty. That I kind of got what I needed out of that, but it was definitely a time of growth, in that time period. Yeah.
All while serving too. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like a parallel there, that's pretty cool. And so, your mission now, like not being active duty, like how has God worked in your life now as opposed to then or since then?
Oh man. I tell everybody when you go into the Air Force, you go to different branches, you have what's called core values. And the Air Force was integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all you do. And when I left out of the service, that was kind of implanted in me and trying to figure that when I got out. Now, when I got out, it wasn't a great time as far as finding a job. And was on unemployment for like 4 months. But I kind of reached out to different people, found jobs, but that was kind of beat into my head and growing from the Air Force to getting out and what they call civilian life and during that transition, but also feeling a tug of getting closer to God at that time. It was very much during that time that I even grew a lot then because, moving back home, we were at the time attending our home church that, Shantae and I both grew up in. That was a big transition. Yeah.
And so you mentioned too, like how God brought you into this network of people.
Oh yeah.
And we talked about this a little bit privately. How God has placed you in this place of grow, this place to grow recently.
Yes. Yeah.
So, relatively recently. What made you? How did you end up here?
Like I said, pretty much it was Shantae. We had some family members that came from our old church that started here, and they kind of recommended it, and we looked online, and we had the evening service. And that was it. But then the one thing that drew us here was just the freedom. I remember my wife's first night, I was home with the kids. She came for service, and Sister Bolger, our pastor's wife, came up to her and said, "Welcome home." And that was the genuine feeling that we had with coming here. And even now, to this day, that's still the feeling that I have when I walk in here, that this is home. And also it was the people. I had traditionally gone to a church that was predominantly black. So coming here, I was like, Mom, there's too many white people in here. like you hear the music they're playing, but no, but it changed real quick. And then the biggest thing was with my second week here, I received the Holy Ghost. And I had talked to a friend of mine right after I had that experience, and I was, talking to him. He's like, "How did it go? What did you feel?" Just, want to know all that stuff. And then he got real quiet, and he was like, he's kind of questioning, like, how come the whole time you're here never experienced that, and then you get over there and it's, within the first 2 weeks. And he was like, it was the freedom, wasn't it? And I was like, that's the only way that I can experience was, that I could explain it was spiritually, the freedom that I felt here and at that time. But I think too, it was just the timing of my life that I was there spiritually. That, like Craig said earlier, before, the episode before was, he had got to that point where it wasn't about seeking the Holy Ghost. It was, God, I just want you. And that's how it was here at that time, just being here, kind of put all that stuff aside, what it looked like, who was here, who wasn't here. God was here.
Yeah.
And that was enough for me.
That's awesome. And then so that's from the spiritual side.
Oh, yeah.
All right, the fellowship side.
Oh man. That was great. Because
you said there's a bit of a culture difference.
There was, but like I was going into before, I didn't realize that I missed that camaraderie of having that brotherhood And when I got here, Brother David asked me to play on the softball team. And I was like, man, I didn't play baseball. I don't play softball.
Hey, me neither.
I was like,
my first time.
I'm 35 years old. I'm not playing baseball. Like what? But I joined that, and that's how it really kind of opened up for me. Everything that that the church had where I could make a relationship. Craig and I first talked and became friends over, it was a work day. We were just standing outside, cleaning up outside and just talking. So that was something big for me, was making myself available for that. God had kind of showed me that had to make myself available for that. So that's how it all grew. And then it's, like I said, it's definitely a family atmosphere. My wife got active in the church. I got active in the church, serving in different things. And that opened the door even more for, the growth and the relationships that I came, opening myself, making relationships. My wife, my children, they all grew. I mean, within that second year we were here, our kids started attending the school here, and the relationships that came just from that. I remember you actually, when Trenton first started here, and I remember you posting, Sean, about how much of a blessing it was for your child to be able to, one, grow up in an apostolic church, but then attending an apostolic school, and how much just seeing that and agreeing with you of how that really felt. But there were so many ties that were established just from that. I mean, seeing the change from my children. I mean, each one, they really developed, not just like personally, it was a spiritual growth that I could even see in myself and my wife and in my children. So, that's something that we were looking for, that Shantae and I were looking for, and we found all of that here.
Yeah. We talked in another episode with Matt and John, and Matt shared a similar testimony. Kind of grew up in the faith, went had his time away of the faith, and how God brought him back. And even through Sister Bulgren, something similar, like live on fire for God right now. Mm-hmm. And it was like a welcome home moment for him. And one of the things that I've found through the people that end up here is that, and there's millions of other churches that are just as good as this one.
I don't think.
Agree. But there's other churches with this feeling, right? And so, but I will say this, that if you aren't where God wants you to be, He'll move you there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be careful how I say that, because I'm not trying to tell you to church hop or go anywhere else. Hey everybody, Charlie from the Casting Faith podcast. We're proud to announce our new show sponsor, Two Clever Fellas. You got junk piling up in your yard? Maybe it's time to move. You got some things you need cleaned out? Well, I have the person for you. Call Marcus at Two Clever Fellas. We have a special offer for our listeners today. 20% off on these projects in the summer and this spring. Call Marcus at 330-283-8000 and mention that we sent you and get 20% off.
I'll add to that real quick to kind of go along with what you're saying. Like Troy said, is similar to how I found here, and it's probably the same time, like 2019 is when I started coming here. But it wasn't that I was looking to move churches. And to go along with what you're saying, God will put you where He wants you. It's that pressure from that feeling like, God, I want to go higher. I want to go deeper in relationship. I feel like I'm capped out. Like I need more from you. Yeah. And then God just moves you.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. God, when God opens the door will open. And when God wants you somewhere, if you're not where you're supposed to be, and a big part of that is the brotherhood. My best friends are here, and the new best friends that I have, like the friends that I've gained over the years, they're here. And this isn't a weird like inner circle type thing. You know what I mean? It's not that. I'm just saying that God has placed. He had this way of connecting people that make us better. David had Jonathan, and it made him better. And God had put people in his life and in our lives. He's placed people in our lives. And for me and you specifically, it's so wild because when I was a child, like your kid's age right now, I was watching you on the field.
Right.
And now,
make me feel old.
I know, I'm sorry, but as a man now, I look to you as a friend, and I look up to you as a father because I see the child that you have. I see the children that you have, and I see how you're teaching them and how you've raised them in this truth and in this place. And it's a cool switch of dynamic, but that's like a full circle moment. You weren't here yet, but God got you here, Yeah. And so it's a really cool thing. Yeah. Same with your testimony. God placed you here, and it's incredible how God does that. How He moves pieces around and gives you your best shot at being the best you that you can be.
Right.
I think we kind of look over how we talk about welcome home on a Sunday morning to the visitors and everything like that. But Brother Troy and I didn't talk about this before we got here. But I said, when I came here in January 2007, it was, this is my home. He used the exact same words. And I would ask you, when you came here, did you feel, all right, it's home?
Yep, definitely. We actually were like, we're going to start looking for another church. I think that's where God's leading us. We found FAC Brother Christian and I had some mutual friends that through Brother Cody Updegrave and Anthony Nutter. And then I always followed IBC, so I knew of Calix, and then they were like, well, Calix goes to Talmadge, and I was like, music must be awesome there. As a musician,
it got better.
So my mind was, let's go just check out their music. It was we were serving as music directors in our church. We were the worship pastors, whatever they want to call us, whatever title, doesn't matter. But so we were like, let's go check out this night service at this church. Let's go check it out. And it was a shout down service.
How about those evening services, man?
Yeah. It was a shout down service, and I still got the video of it. And it's like, yeah, we're never going back to the church, our other church. We are home now.
Yes.
Yeah. And it wasn't even a thought. It was like, so we left church that night and went to her father's house, who was the pastor of the church. And we were like, we're not coming back.
Right.
We did it wrong, but man, we were home, and that was the end of it.
And what's funny, that's what it says on the side door entry is welcome home.
Yeah.
And it's so funny to say that
and it wasn't on the door back in 2007. I'm just saying, this ain't subliminal messaging.
And the music wasn't where it's at today in 2007. Especially
we were one step away from transparencies back in 2000.
So we've come a long way. But yeah, when you leave the door, it says "Welcome to the mission field."
Yeah,
right.
And so it's incredible how God kind of built this place, and I'll echo that again and just say, He'll put you where you need to be. He'll give you that home. You know? And if you're in this area and you need a home, welcome home. Come visit.
And let me say this too: you were talking about kids, and if you have kids, welcome home. Yeah. Because if you're looking for a place where your kids are going to be able to grow up with some great kids, my boys are like, why can't I go over to so-and-so's house from school? I was like, because I don't know their parents. You let me go over to Braxton's house. I know their parents, and I don't have a problem with you going over there.
Right.
Well, that's the biggest draw was, that first service, our kids were like, this is it. They're like, we don't want to go. And even to this day, we've been here 6 years. My children are 18, 13, and 11. They don't say we have to go to church. I don't hear them say, I don't want to go to church.
Nope.
Braxton just said last Monday, I can't wait for Wednesday night.
That's awesome. And listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't know if I was just a different kid, raised different or something like that, but I remember kicking and screaming, getting woke up on a Sunday morning. We're going to church. Why do I got to go to church? I don't want to go. I don't know. But my kids, I've never heard that from my kids either.
Yeah. Awesome.
We have a great Sunday school program. Shout out to my mother-in-law. I'm just saying.
The best.
Mr. Queen, best.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
It's the greatest.
Yeah. It's and what was crazy was that the year before in 2018, we had a parent-teacher conference with Troy's 6th grade teacher, my oldest son. And she said, well, I was a youth group kid. And Shantae and I kind of looked at each other like, what's a youth group, kid? What are you talking about? I mean, you could kind of put it together, and she started explaining, and Shantae and I started talking. And after we left that meeting, I was like, that's what I want for my kids. And then not knowing anything about FAC, not knowing that within 4 months of that meeting, we would be here. And within 8 months of that meeting, that my oldest son would have the Holy Ghost, my daughter would have the Holy Ghost, and my younger son would have the Holy Ghost.
That's incredible.
All here, on a Sunday evening service. So
what a God.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we had Sunday night services. Not during fishing season, but
Not during football season.
Hey,
wasn't it like 2 months in between there?
we still have it. We still have it. It's just, it's all together. It's all in the same. It's all in the same block. So it's cool. We didn't lose anything. It's just all.
Super Bowl that feeling of like we're all too tired to listen to preaching. Let's just jam.
I do like the flow of the services because there's not that break. There's not that ramp back up.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the Super Bowl every Sunday. That's how I feel. It's amazing. And man, I'm so glad that God pulled us all together. And that brotherhood means something. Like I've been through some times, in my whole, you can go back and listen to the episodes of our testimonies and what we went through growing up. And man, this place, my home, this church is the only reason I'm probably alive.
And true men of God. I can't tell you how many times, when I'm going through something, I've got just a text, hey, God put you on my heart. I'm praying for you. Just want to let you know. And you're just like,
He knows.
It's just, this is my family.
Yeah.
Or when you show up to do a podcast and you're just not having the greatest day and your buddy's over here just taking the heat.
It's all right. But this is what it's about. Like God put us here and we have this brotherhood that, he can lift us up, and we have those people to lean on during those tough times. And for me, like Pastor Bolgren, Josh Carson, they were my fathers, like in every sense of the word. They taught me how to work. They taught me how to pray. They taught me how to serve. They taught me how to be a gentleman. They taught me how to treat my wife that I didn't even have yet. Just by being here, like I had that example. And God's placed men in my life at different stages in my life that has just made me better. And so I'm grateful for that. And so the point of this, and I'm glad you shared your testimony. I'm thankful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. And if you don't have this, find it, and pray that God shows you it. And it may not be in Talmadge. And if it is, welcome home. But if it's not, God will show you where you need to be. And maybe you're listening and you're not where you should be, like Brother Craig was talking about last episode. God will show you where you should be, and he'll put you through the process to get you there. So you could either go because you choose that it's time, like I need to do this because I need to get my life back on track and get where I'm supposed to be, or God will put you through the process where he'll bring you to that moment. And so
he can guide you or he can drag you.
But we're so grateful. I'm so grateful for both of you, all three of you. Grateful that God has put men of God like you in my life. And I pray that our listeners can have that experience as well. Last segment, we're going to dive into overrated, underrated. Life overseas, Brother Troy. Was it overrated or underrated?
I think it was underrated. It's a great experience, and like I said, I took my new bride over there, and
that's cool.
That's where we learned to be married. Just her and I. So it was a great experience.
So is Troy German?
So we didn't do. He was born on the base, so. Yeah, we could do the paperwork.
It was like U.S. property, though.
But it was, he was born on technically U.S. soil.
That's kind of cool.
So he can be president.
Yeah, he can be president.
Okay. He probably will be.
Yeah.
He's a great kid.
If you know Troy Jr., he probably will be.
He's amazing.
The president.
I can't tell you how many times I've told your son, Troy, I hope my boys grow up to be just like you. Seriously.
That's what I'm saying. We'll have to have you back on and just teach us how to be dads.
And that's the Lord. I can't take any of that credit. That's him.
But man, it's incredible. Okay, so this is for both of you. Military PT tests. Overrated, underrated. Walk us through that.
Are you guys still riding that exercise bike for your military PT test?
That is, I mean, I've been out 20 years now.
There's such a difference here.
But that's our PT test. I mean, I don't know now. The reason that I didn't like our PT test and our fitness scores were I'm not naturally a little guy. So I could do all the push-ups, do all the sit-ups, and do the run, and then I could fail because of my waist. And I'd be like, I'm not little. Like, how are you going to feel? I can do everything.
Yeah.
Like, I could put you on my back and carry and run.
Yeah.
But no, you'd fail. So,
they had measurement qualifications in the Air Force for. Yeah. I don't think we had that in the Marine
Is that so you can fit in the cockpit of a plane or something?
I mean, no.
What's the purpose of that?
No, because they can. I don't know.
Well, for the longest time in fitness,
so the plane can fly.
So the plane can fly.
For the longest time in fitness, though, that was the measurement. Just the look, not the actual strength, but the looks. But even the biggest power lifters now aren't little dudes like me.
Oh no, they're huge.
Yeah.
Military. So listen, if you're new to military, I love Brother Troy. I respect the Air Force. But it's just like Ohio State, Michigan. You know, you're going to bust chops. That's what you do. The Army bust chops, the Marine Corps, that we're all better than the other one. And we'll let you know it. And we make fun of each other, but nothing but love and respect. But, military PT tests, Marine Corps is just 3 things. It's push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups. Oh, I'm sorry. And a run. 4 things. And a run. 5K run. And
what was the time on that?
5K run. Anything below 18, you qualify. 18 minutes, you qualify. I believe it's Ironman. If you can do 100 sit-ups, over 20 no, there were no push-ups. It's sit-ups, pull-ups, and run.
Yeah, so we didn't do pull-ups.
It's been so long. So anything over 20 pull-ups, anything under an 18-minute run, and anything over 100 sit-ups in 2 minutes, and you're Ironman.
Well, I'm not Ironman.
No, I never got there. The fastest, I will say this, the fastest I ever did a 5K run, I was just talking to a buddy of mine today about it, was 18 minutes and 20 seconds. That's the closest I ever got. And then I follow a Bible passage to this day that says, "The wicked flee when no man pursueth." And that's why I do not run anymore.
That's funny. It's really crazy. Like, I've never even thought about being in the military, but I did try for a long time to be in law enforcement. And I made it through the long process of the highway patrol here in Ohio, and the physical test, which I thought was really hard. I had to train for it for a long time. And it's so simple compared to these. Like, I think you had to do like 20 push-ups or something like that in a minute. Then like 30 sit-ups or something so little, like, compared to these numbers.
Yeah.
Really crazy.
Next one, ready?
Yep.
To our head usher. The earpieces.
Yeah.
For ushers. The walkies and the earpieces. Is it overrated or underrated? That's a new thing.
Overrated.
I'm
gonna call it out. Overrated. I can't hear anything when you guys are talking. I'm over there like, what? Huh?
Now you know our ushers are airmen and Marines.
Right.
Another part of being home is you're safe.
All men that you don't want to mess with.
Yeah, you're safe.
No, we don't miss anything. We may not know what we're saying to each other, but we always just give us that eye look.
Yeah, pretty much if I hear any radio traffic, I just walk out of service. Go figure out who's talking and what's going on. Yeah.
We definitely need to step our game up, head usher, on that one.
What's that?
Those earpieces, they're tough to hear.
Yeah.
However, every single Sunday morning, I hear Bob Queen.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Queen has left the building. I hear that every single Sunday.
He's got funny stories about leaving service and still having that thing on. And what did he say? Some kids asked him if he's in the FBI at Chipotle.
Yep.
That's a felony.
And he played it off too, like,
back to the stolen valor.
No, he looked at him and said, "I can't tell you that."
He did. That's funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Funny. Okay, next one. All right, this is dangerous because I know we're like at the end of the episode here, but maybe this will be like a future episode. Prepping. for those times.
Well, like doomsday
Yeah,
prepping?
doomsday prepping, overrated, underrated.
Well, it depends.
This is a literal whole episode.
Oh,
with
it is,
the
and
question,
I'll give you the question to open that episode. Are you a pre-trib or post-trib? There's your question for your episode right there.
Yeah.
I think you prepare for the worst and hope for the best in everything.
Yeah. Are you the same way?
I will say God has moved me to do everything in my life. He's led me that if I was a need to prepare, he would say, prepare. And I trust that.
How about you?
I'm with Troy.
I just don't like to think about it. I'll be honest.
I don't need that kind of
Will that keep you up at night, just laying in bed looking at the ceiling?
I watched.
Hey, you can't take anything with you when you die.
I had some friends tell me their plans, and then there was this show during 2019 that came out. There was this movie that talked about this, and it was this whole ordeal, and it was a little too close to home because everything was shut down. And I made it about 2 minutes in the movie, and I spiraled. And I'm sitting on the bed like this with my eyes wide open. The world is shut down. I'm just doing this. And I text my wife and I say,
It's too much.
I said, Hillary,
I
need you to come to the room right now.
I think we've all had that moment.
No joke. You can have my man card. I said, I need you to hug me right now and tell me it's okay. Because I straight down spiraled. Like, it was like full on panic because I know that I could survive. But Sadie and Kendall and my kids and my wife, I don't want to survive if they don't. That's how my mindset went.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, it full on sent me to the point where like, I'm like, all right, am I ready to talk about this? Am I ready to talk about this? So maybe another episode.
I mean, I've had like my Amazon cart full of like 50-gallon water buffaloes.
I got $3,000 in an end times list on Amazon right now. And I'm like, well, what's another maxed out credit card? We'll be prepared.
Listen, I'm going to say this. All right, look, if you start seeing, I believe that there are certain signs. If you see that Jerusalem temple, if the third temple be built, if you start seeing that one world government come together, the mark of the beast, all that stuff like that, and there hasn't been a rapture yet, all I'm saying is go out and I'm going to max that credit card. I'm going to buy a brand new F-150 or a Trail Boss or something like that. And then it's going to be a 7-year hide and seek game with the creditors for me. If you want it, come get it.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. The giant camera. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm nervous to answer that one.
My wife's family have spent literally probably over $60,000
preparing
on. Yeah, they're kind of like, they went off the deep end like in 2010.
Man, see, that's
and never came up for air.
That's like where I'm afraid that I would be. Like, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to.
We're talking. They installed safes in their house and poured them in concrete.
So you're good.
And hid them in other. No, I'm not good.
Do they have a bookshelf where you pull a book and it moves though?
Essentially, kind of.
I would love that.
And then they went, and that was just like $60,000 and stuff like for food, ammo, guns, all the stuff, and then like buying property and stashing stuff on the property and like kind of like crazy. And then they said they will not invite us. Like if anything happens, because they're only preparing for themselves.
So here's
the thing. Like,
that's all right because I'm shunned from that family.
So here's my thought on that, and because you have those late night conversations with a group of friends type thing, and I believe that you prepare for the worst, hope for the best. That's just me personally. That's not you need to live by this, but at the same time, I think that God will provide, whether it be manna from heaven or a group of people being able to provide or help another group of people.
So what you're saying is this brotherhood that
just
I have, I'm going to be all right.
Look, when it goes not down, everybody's the hand, not everybody's the foot, not everybody.
Somebody just catches the dinks and provides the meat. You
catch all 20 species in the lake.
We'll have some fish fries.
Exactly. We got variety.
We need the spoons.
My wife does sourdough. I don't know. Can I come to the club? Like, that's where I'm at.
I will say the sourdough thing is hilarious to me. How many women have jumped on?
Hey, this is a touchy subject. This will get me canceled.
I know.
Name it.
Yeah.
They name their
no
sourdough.
comment. No comment.
No comment. You better not comment.
I do know.
I will say this: I've got shelves in my basement. I can my deer meat. I love deer, and I'll tell you right now: if you ain't never had canned deer meat, you need to have some canned deer meat.
I've never
great
had that.
stew, great gravies, and all that stuff like that. But I've got that on the shelf. I've got some MRE type stuff on shelves. And listen, if it happens, or okay, let's say it's not end times doomsday, but let's say another thing like COVID happens where they shut down the supply chain. I have 2 kids. I could care less about me and my wife. I have 2 kids that I need to be able to provide for.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's where I
Bob and
aspire.
Cindy are going to be there. You know, Francie and
I have
They're all
2
gonna be
kids
there.
that I need to provide for.
they're all going to be there. You better up that.
Well, we're about at that time. We're going to do another episode, not tonight, but we'll do another episode on this topic probably because it's an interesting one that I get all up in anxiety about. But, I'll get over it.
Yeah,
That'll get me through it.
You guys might need like a 3-hour episode.
Yeah. Because it's tough. I get all uncomfortable. Anyways, thank you guys so much for coming on tonight and last week. We're grateful that you guys have shared your testimony and joined us on the show. It means a lot to us and to our listeners. You're bringing so much value to them, and so we're grateful. But also want to shout out 2 clever fellas, Marcus. He's in those times where I was just needing an extra hand, he was there. And, on the same token, I helped him out a lot. And so we've definitely established something cool with 2 clever fellows. If you need something done, call them. We also have First Form supplements, which taste much better than these chocolate chip MRE cookies. They're chocolate chip protein bar. I wish I had them. I almost brought them, forgot. But hands down, best protein bars I've ever had.
Not cardboard.
Not cardboard.
Nice.
It's like almost like a cakey consistency.
Ooh, nice.
And it's delicious. And the peanut butter lovers is fire. It's the best one they have. So solid stuff, protein bars and Backbone Coffee. We're thankful for good coffee, not that Circle K tipper. It's that solid, smooth, bold American roast, and it's great. And so we're grateful for them. But we're thankful for everybody who tuned in. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, comment, share this with a friend, share this with your brotherhood so they can laugh at how I was anxious about the end times and not prepared, and share your plan so maybe I can take some notes when I spiral the next time. But we're thankful for all of you that listen. And until next time, cast faith in everyday life.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Hey, Casting Faith crew, let's talk about something that keeps us running strong. Literally, we're proud to partner with First Form, the leader in premium nutrition and supplements.
These products aren't just for gym rats, y'all. First Form has something for everyone. Whether you're in the gym, in the woods, or on the water chasing steelhead or bass, protein powders, pre-workouts, vitamins, greens, you name it, they've got it.
And here's the best part. When you shop through our link, you're directly supporting this podcast. Every order you make helps us keep doing what we love, talking faith, fitness, and fishing just for you.
So don't wait. Level up your health, fuel your passion, and support the Casting Faith podcast. Click that link and get started with First Form today.